Hello guys, this is Paul McWhorter from ExtremePreppers.com, and I am here today to review the Ameraucanas chickens from McMurray Hatchery. These are also the chickens known as the Easter layers, and I have ordered these chickens over the last 10 years. I've ordered them 3 times, and what I'd like to do is just share with you our experience of raising these chickens for 3 years. Let me start by describing the first batch of chickens that we got, and we ordered these chickens probably it was about 9 years ago. And when we ordered them 9 years ago, we ordered 7 chickens. And the thing that we noticed is that in this first batch of these Easter layer chickens, we enjoyed a great diversity in the chickens that we got. You can see that this chicken was a beautiful golden color, and then this one was a beautiful white color. This was Miss Lily, and we did lose Miss Lily last year. It was very sad. It was my wife's favorite chicken, and we lost her to a fox. Now, my wife is really the nurturing type, and the chickens are like her pets. They're like her little children, and she really loves her children. And unfortunately, it was my wife that found the chicken after the fox had gotten it, and it was really a very bloody mess that she found. And finding the chickens put her into what they call adrenal crisis, or adrenal fatigue, where basically she passed out, had to go to the emergency room. She was in the hospital for 3 days, and she really took it very, very bad. But what you have to understand is my wife is the crazy chicken lady. Now, every family, I believe, has a crazy chicken lady, and in our family, it's my wife that is the crazy chicken lady. Okay, and I think there's crazy chicken ladies in every family. I think there's crazy chicken ladies all over the world. For example, last summer we went to what was the most remote place on the face of the earth. We went to Africa, and Africa's pretty remote, but we went to the most remote part, the most remote point of Africa. And in fact, the place that we went was a very small village way back in the jungle. You couldn't even get there with a car. You had to park your vehicle, and you had to walk through the jungle to get to this place. And the village was called the Village of No Village Beyond. Why was it called the Village of No Village Beyond? Because it's the last village. There is no village beyond this village. You are literally at the edge of the earth. So we found very beautiful people at the Village of No Village Beyond. And among those beautiful people in the village, we found that the village had their very own crazy chicken lady. Now, the thing about crazy chicken ladies is they have some secret sisterhood communication amongst these crazy chicken women. They always find each other. So immediately, my wife, which is the one in the blue, and the crazy chicken lady from No Village Beyond found each other. And this lady in red gifted my wife this beautiful chicken, because that's what crazy chicken ladies do. They find each other, and then they give each other chickens. So this lady gave my wife a chicken. Well, okay, very sweet thing to do. You know, I don't want to ignore the wonderful sacrifice that this lady made by giving this chicken, but you know, I'm thinking what are we going to do with this chicken? Okay, I mean, it's like we got to get home with this chicken somehow. So first thing is, this village that you see is way back in the jungle, and we are going to have to walk back through the jungle on these narrow trails, carrying this big, fat, juicy, clucking, loud piece of lion bait. Okay, lion bait is what we're carrying in this loud, clucking lion bait is what this chicken is. When you go through the jungle, you don't want to be carrying something that's going to be calling the lions in. Okay, you don't want to do that. But that's what we had to do. Luckily, we got back to our vehicle without being eaten by any wild animals. And then, of course, my wife wants to bring the chicken home. Now, I don't know if you have ever tried to get a chicken in a carry-on bag onto an international flight. But let me tell you, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter what you say, doesn't matter what the crazy chicken lady says. They're not going to let that chicken on the airplane. It's not going to happen. So we had to figure out how to deal with this chicken in Africa. Well, there are a lot of people that we knew, a lot of friends, and so my wife would go up and, offer one of our African friends, would you like this chicken? They say, oh yeah, I'll have that chicken. And she said, of course you're not going to eat. And they say, what do you mean? People, I'm not making fun, but people in Africa don't have very much to eat, and they're hungry, and they look at a chicken, it's like, man, that's a meal for the whole family. And they maybe eat meat a couple of times a month, and so that's a pretty big deal to get a chicken. Man, they're going to eat that thing. It's not a problem that they're going to eat it, but the problem is that they wouldn't. I mean, if they would have just lied to my wife and say, oh, we'll take care of the little chicken, and lied to her, but they wouldn't even lie to her. They'd just tell her the truth. We're going to eat the chicken. So then my wife would take the chicken back and not give it to them. And so we're trekking across Africa trying to find someone that will not eat the chicken. And basically, I'm concluding that African people are very honest people, and they would just flat up tell my wife, you give us that chicken, we're eating that chicken like right now. So she wouldn't give them to him. So we're going across Africa trying to find an adoptive family for the chicken that she's been given. And finally, it's like she found this missionary family, and they seemed really nice, and they told her that they wouldn't eat the chicken. And of course, we had to do a background check, and so the Equifax and the criminal investigation, criminal background check, the private investigators, all that to make sure that this family would be worthy of adopting this chicken. And everything checked out. No arrest warrants, no criminal background, no time in prison, Interpol, international police, all those types of things. No issues came up, no credit problems. Then, of course, my wife had to kind of personally investigate. So we go over to their house. She's digging around through their trash, making sure that there's no chicken bones or any indication of chicken butchery going on there. And everything seemed to check out. They did have a chicken coop with some chickens in it. Chickens seemed to be healthy. Everybody seemed to be happy. There seemed to be egg-laying boxes. We found eggshells. It seemed like that this family was really in the egg business, not in the meat business. And so after a lot of background and a lot of checking, we were able to give the chicken to that family, and my wife was able to return with me finally to the United States in peace, knowing that her chicken was taken care of. So anyway, my wife is the crazy chicken lady. Somehow I have really digressed away from reviewing the Ameraucanas chickens, so we better get back there. So anyway, 9 years ago we bought these 7 Ameraucanas or Easter layer chickens from McMurray Hatchery, and the thing we really liked was they were the 7 chickens were very different. We got a very beautiful gold one, or brown one. We got a very beautiful white one. This was Miss Lily. Again, Miss Lily got eaten by the fox. Sent my wife to the hospital for 3 days. Cost me bukus of money to get my wife back out of the hospital. Then we had this one, which is this was Miss Nellie, and she was a beautiful speckled gray bird. And then this is Miss Goldie. Miss Goldie is actually still with us. She's 9 years old. She's not producing very many eggs right now, but she is definitely a beautiful chicken. And so the thing we loved about this first batch of Easter layers from McMurray Hatchery was the diversity of the chickens, that they look different, and so they really look great in the barnyard. And then each one laid a different color egg. And so what was really nice is that it just makes such a beautiful display when you have the different colors in the eggs. And what we found is that the eggs were very kind of very lightly tinted, but it was kind of like a pastel, that there was a turquoise color. And understand, any particular chicken will always lay the same color egg every day, and even the same shape of egg every day. So each chicken has its own unique characteristic, kind of like a fingerprint. It's like an egg print. You got a particular egg from a particular chicken. But what we'd like to do is to give these chickens away, and so we got these little clear cases, and we made these little labels. You can see that each label is made for the person we're giving them to. This one says, laid special for Miss Abby by your friends out in Chickietown. And Chickietown is a little barnyard where we raise the chickens, and very happy place Chickytown is. And so we give these eggs away, and then it's very nice when they open them up. There's these different colored eggs, and you can see there's a gray one there, and then back in there we have one chicken laid a turquoise, a little bit more towards the green tint, another one turquoise, a little more to the blue tint. There was one that laid sort of an olive green egg, and even one that was sort of a light pink. So you take the light pink, the olive green, the turquoise green, the turquoise blue with the traditional brown eggs, and you really just had a beautiful little set of eggs. Or if when we put them on baskets on the countertop, it just made a beautiful element there to have these different colored eggs. And so the other chickens that we really liked were the Red Star chickens from McMurray Hatchery. So when we would order, the Red Stars are the chickens that lay the most eggs, they lay the biggest eggs, they lay the best eggs, and they're very, very gentle, calm birds. And so we like the Red Stars the best. And so we would get like 14 Red Stars, and then we would get 7 of these Easter layers. And then we would get a lot of eggs, and then we would get this beautiful diversity in the color of the eggs, and then we would get this beautiful diversity in on the homestead of all these different looking chickens. And so that was really great. Well, after about 4 years, the chickens kind of stopped producing very many eggs, and that's pretty much expected. After a couple of years, the production starts going down. By about 4 years, you're not getting very many eggs. So we ordered another batch of chickens after 4 years, and the second batch, again, we got 14 of the Red Star chickens, great chickens, 7 of the Easter layers or the Ameraucanas. And the thing about this second group of Easter layers is that they didn't look different. We weren't getting white and speckled and brown. We were getting them all look the same, and they were all sort of golden brown with black streaks. Okay, all of the chickens looked the same of the second group of 7 Easter layers. And then what we found is they all laid identical eggs, and they were white, just white, slightly gray eggs, not a tiny tint of color. There was no Easter in these eggs whatsoever. No Easter in these eggs. You couldn't even try to pretend that you were seeing any color. They just looked like store-bought eggs. So we were kind of disappointed. And the other thing a little bit disappointed is that the chickens all look the same. So we didn't have this nice mix of chickens out in the barnyard. So anyway, we go on and think, okay, well, chickens are kind of unpredictable. One batch didn't work out very well. Then after another 4 years, those chickens stopped producing, so we ordered our third batch. And again, 14 Red Star chickens, about 7 of the Easter layers. And doggone it, that third batch, same thing. 7 chickens, looked identical, brown, golden brown with black stripes. All the chickens looked the same, and the eggs were not colored again. Second time, 7 chickens the second time, no Easter in the egg. 7 chickens the third time, no Easter in the egg. And so I just took some pictures this morning of the chickens just to kind of show you. Again, sort of brown with black streaks, brown with black streaks. Here's another one, brown, little bit lighter streak, but still looks the same. Brown with black streaks, brown with black streaks. Brown with black streaks. Now this white one, that is not an Easter layer. That's one of our Bressy chickens. That's a topic for a whole nother video, the Bressy chickens. Okay, but today we're talking about the Easter layers. And what you can see is that in this third batch, they all look the same. Okay, and so I want to show you the eggs. These are the Easter layer eggs from this third batch. Same thing. No Easter in these eggs, no color whatsoever. You can see that they are just flat white, tiny bit of gray, not a hint of color. So I cannot lie to you. I am disappointed in these darn chickens because this is the second time that I've gotten no color in the eggs. And so 7 chickens, no color 4 years ago, 7 chickens, no color now. So in the last 5 years, I have gotten no colored eggs from these Easter layers. So unfortunately, McMurray Hatchery, I'm going to have to give you 2 thumbs down on your Ameraucanas chickens, because I love the first ones. I loved how different each one was of the chickens, and I loved all the different colored eggs I was getting, but now I am getting no color in the eggs whatsoever. 2 batches, 4 years apart, 14 total chickens, 0 color. Okay, now I am getting eggs, but if it's just about eggs, let me show you the difference between the eggs from the Easter layers from McMurray Hatchery versus the eggs from the Red Star chickens. And these are 2 eggs that were laid yesterday. These chickens came at the same time. They're exactly the same age. They have lived in the same coop. They're eating the same food. They're scratching in the same dirt, drinking the same water, everything identical. And this is the difference between the eggs. You can see that the Red Star chicken, the brown egg, is twice as big as the egg that the Easter layer is laying. And also, just in the egg production, I'm seeing that I'm getting 25% more eggs from a Red Star chicken than I am from the Easter layers. So with the Easter layers, the eggs are smaller and they don't lay as many. Okay, also with the Easter layers, there's a difference in temperament between the Red Star chickens and the Easter layers. The Red Star chickens are just very calm and very gentle and very social. And when you go out, they run up and they want to get in your lap, and you can pick them up and you can pet them, and they go make all these little chicken noises. They're like wonderful, dear, sweet little pets, to where the Easter layers are much more skittish. And I'm not just talking about 1 or 2. I'm saying out of the 21 chickens of the Easter layers, they are always skittish compared to the Red Star. So they're not social. They're a little leery of you. They sort of run off. We had one that we actually called Crazy Chicken because she just ran. Any little thing, she'd just get soft. She'd just run. She'd run halfway. She'd run 2 blocks away before she'd stop running for no reason. So she was just a very, very skittish chicken, a very scared chicken. And all of the Easter layers that we've had have been kind of skittish. And so really, really disappointed in these chickens. I'd love to hear your experience. If you have ordered these chickens, and particularly if you've ordered them in the last few years, I'd like to hear if you've gotten a different result. I'd love to hear from McMurray Hatchery, because it's like, I mean, I love the chickens from McMurray Hatchery. I love the Red Star chickens. I wanted to like the chickens. I wanted this to work. It's not like I'm just trying to give a negative review, but man, I just cannot recommend these chickens. Love to hear your experience. I'd love to hear from McMurray Hatchery about maybe what's going on with these things. So anyway, at this point, I can't recommend these chickens. I do recommend McMurray Hatchery. I do recommend the Red Star chickens in particular. Again, I'm not affiliated with McMurray Hatchery. I've just been ordering chickens from them for the last 10 years. And so love to hear your comments below. If you like this review, think about giving us a thumbs up. Think about hitting the subscribe button. Think about sharing this video. We'll be doing more videos on chickens and other things. Again, Paul McWhorter, ExtremePreppers.com. We will talk to you guys later.